Assalamu alaikum. Suleiman Rahim here. Critical Analytics. Welcome. Critical Analytics. What talk? Suleiman Rahim, Master of the Covenant, Slayer of the Break of the Seven Seals. Sisters and brothers, this is a follow-up on the sixth seal, War Talk. And I'm going to focus primarily on the angel key. Same subject, but I'm going to give it from the perspective of the angel key. 1 second, brothers and sisters. Oops. 1 second here. Okay. The sixth seal. That's the power seal. That's the seal that's been working 50,000 years to be broken. That's that particular seal. Talked about in previous presentation. So we're going to look at it because this is where the abomination and desolation occurs in the sixth seal. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. Still shaking his cough. It's almost gone, but it's still there. Okay, so let's proceed. Get War Talk, sixth seal. So we're going to do a few setups, and then we get right to the sixth seal. Now this is, back up again here. Track record so far. COVID-19, 16, 19, 2019, 2020. We were the only ones that was ahead of this. Everyone else ran to COVID-19 like a brick wall at 2,020 miles per hour. Everyone crashed into it, except us. So if you're paying Mr. Farrakhan and Silas and them to be your watcher, your weatherman, you better ask for a return, right? Because they sure are failing you. Then we talked about George Floyd, the spark that would ignite a 5-month demon plague, which from the start of that incident until it petered out, so to speak, right? Till it died down, it's 5 months. Take my word for it, check it out. Angel talks about this 5-month plague. Talks about it in a couple of places. This is the sealed version. Unsealed version is the plague that's going to take place once we left and demons are going to war with their devil daddies. That's the unsealed one. This is the sealed one. Now I talked about what would be the shock that would take place in November. November 2020. We saw an election that Mr. Trump was not supposed to lose. No one expected him to lose that one. But he did. And everything has changed since then. Anyone can see America has definitely changed since then. Not for the better. All America's troubles are just being increased and compounded. America's being crushed. It was stress tested under Mr. Trump, failed, now it's being crushed. Then in November I talked about the science of half an hour. Science about half an hour mentioned in the 7th seal. Excuse me, brothers and sisters, I'm going to have to just discontinue this if I can. I just got back from the gym and I did 5 miles at increased speeds. Much faster than I've been going for quite some while. I was hoping I could break this cough up. It seemed like it just made it worse. So it said in the 7th seal, there be silence in the heavens, Remember, war broke out in the heavens. Silence in the heavens, a space about half an hour. That's the residue of this COVID, brothers and sisters. That's what it is. Okay. I'm feeling okay. Just trying to shake this cough. So I said there'll be this silence, and it said it'll be half an hour, between 5 and 7 months, because an hour in this context is 1 year. Silence in this context is an hour in this context is a year. So half a year is 6 months. So I said it'll be between 5 and 7 months, and it was. It was 6 months. May, war broke out in the Middle East. And they've been fighting ever since. Has reached the boiling point, but they've been fighting ever since. And they have acknowledged, both have acknowledged that they have war with each other. Both Israel and Iran has acknowledged they have war with each other. That happened in May 2021, 6 months from November. And everybody that's been associated with this message is aware of that. We have the videos that prove it. So we don't make up things here. We have that actual video. Between 5 and 7 months was it 6. And that's when the war broke out. And it's continued since then. I also said, but I'm not sure here, that they would not return to that agreement. See, JCPOA, I think they call it. They would not return. They have not. Everybody thought it was going to return to it right away. They have not. They say stalling, right? There's disagreements, intransigence, right? So forth, so on. Everybody's taking a hard line. Whatever the case is, They have not returned to JCPOA, which I said, I made it very clear they wouldn't. Angel says they will not, and they have not. And now they've been told that if they don't return, that they will go. They're saying it. They will go to war with them. Everybody's talking war now, talking sanctions. Talking sanctions anymore. Talking war. China's talking war. Russia's talking war. Everyone's talking war. And it's almost guaranteed that it is guaranteed from an Angel point of view that China's going to war with America. But we know from Angel, I studied Angel, that the war in the Middle East would go to the boiling point first, and then China and America will be at it. So these are the things right here. So that brings us to the sixth seal. What happens after half an hour? See? Because when you watch the sixth seal, we're going to see it in a minute. Let's go to it now. Oh. I'm going to balance this here. Oh, well, I did. Now, to understand that half an hour, we have to go back into the seals, and we see in the first seal, right? I have it underlined. He heard something. Second seal, he hears something. Third seal, he hears something. Fourth seal, he hears something. But in the fifth seal, he doesn't hear anything. He sees something, he doesn't hear anything. That's the silence. And then that's between the fifth seal and between the fifth seal and the sixth seal. So that means the silence will precede the sixth seal. That means after the silence, then the sixth seal will kick in. See? So understand that the silence will precede the sixth seal. So after the sixth seal, then the silence kicks in. Very, very important. Okay. So here's the sixth seal. Okay. So let me see if I can make this happen this time. Since I'm kind of taking my time here because having a little voice problem, little technical difficulty here. Okay. Now six seal. See on the bottom left there, and when I saw he opened up the seal to six, and it occurred great shaking. That's the war. That's the war that started in May. Because that's what I mean. Bad translations say earthquake. No, they shaking. They must be earthquake, right? No, shaking is war. That's the war they're talking about. That's going on right now. Then the next thing, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon hole became as blood. So those understand Angel, I'm going to show it in detail in a minute. That's Suleiman coming to the NOI. That's where Ancient of Days sit. But before the Ancient of Days sit, right, it said that the thrones had to be cast down. Those in authority, NOI had to be cast down. And in Mark, we see a division because you have some people that want to come to Suleiman, right, and work with him. And you got the Legion, the chief demon, Farrakhan, and his demons, they don't want to. They're resisting. Read Mark about the demon-possessed man. So we see a division, right? We also see a division in Exodus, right? We're going to show this. an angel. In Exodus, where when Moses and Joshua comes into the camp, there was sound of war. See, so remember, we're talking about this is the war happening now. There's a war going on right now. Sound of war, but not the sound of victory or defeat. That means they're fighting, but there's no sign of victory. They don't know who's going to win or who's going to lose. But the people were rejoicing because they anticipated, right, that false Israel was going to win. Because most of them are Christians or demons, and almost the same thing, and they assuming that false Israel is going to win. That's why they're rejoicing. So the war is on, but there's no victory or defeat yet. See, that's when they show. So when Suleiman shows up there, right, he's going to show up any day now because the war is going on right now. Okay? But it hasn't got to the point of victory or defeat yet. Just war. That's the war that was started in May, 6 months after, right? November, which would be a 6-month silence just before the sixth seal. Sixth seal starts with the war. Then Suleiman goes to NOI. Then it says after that, then the stars of heaven fall into earth as. So these are happening pretty much simultaneously. As a fig tree is destroying the unripe figs of it by wind, great being shaken. That means now this is the follow-up of the war. This is the point where victory or defeat is determined. And we see that the fig, those represents the figs, right? They lose because they're thrown unripe. That means before they could complete whatever plan they had, right? They were preempted, cast down. See, if the fig is throwing this unripe figs, may be thrown down, they're cast down, they're falling down. And where they're not go up. By wind great being shaken. We see that wind, we're going to show us to be the shield. So in other words, right? They blow away the figs, in other words, they take them down. So that's phase 2 of the war. So phase 1 is where we are right now. Phase 2 takes place after Suleiman takes over the NOI. The Ancient of Days sets, right? So Suleiman is about to take over the NOI, and then the war will hit its boiling point. What's saying here? See, that's where desolation of appallment comes in. That yeah, that's where that comes in. Okay, now we're going to talk about it from in your point of view. The abomination of desolation, all this is centered on that. So here we go. Sixth seal, after starting May, after the 6 months silence, then sixth seal, that's the beginning of the sixth seal. Now slowly opened up the seal of the sixth, occurred shaking great. See? So this is where we are right now. Sackcloth, right? Remember it says, well, we'll get there. So the sackcloth represents the Shia, right? They push it up against America, Britain, and false Israel. That's the conflict we see right now. They're trying to get them to go backwards, back down to JCPOA, which will be going backwards, get down. And the angel says that's not going to happen. We're saying all the time, it has not happened. See? So watch this carefully. It says, not so. When they opened the seal of the sixth, a great shaking occurred. So where's it? There's the shaking. Now they are direct war with each other. Direct war with each other. See? So that means now America, it says that's when Dragon and his angels go to war with Michael and his angels. Or Michael's angels go to war with Dragon and his angels. It's happening right here. Now they're at war. It is at the boiling point. Then, see what happened here? And the sun became black, right? That means the wheat, the black, that's the black horse. That means he comes to NOI. As sackcloth of hair and the moon hole become his blood. See? That's the scenario we are. See, that blood, that's the blood of the lamb, so to speak. But anyway, that's the moon become his blood and sackcloth of hair become his blood. That's the fifth and sixth trumpet. The fifth trumpet is the first to blow. The sixth is the seventh to blow. The fifth one is the first to blow. The sixth one is the second to blow, right? And the sixth one is the one to release the first four. And trumpets 1, 2, 3, and 4 are also the four winds. They're also the four stars. Okay. Understand? So, the direct war, at the boiling point, that's when Suleiman comes to NOI. He says, he cleans up, he throws out the demons. See? In fact, that's going to be done internally. That's going on right now. They got dissatisfaction going on there, conflict. So that's about to happen. But again, no one knows the day or the hour, but Master Muhammad himself. Okay? That's what it says, not even the sun. But it doesn't say anything about the year and the month. So I'm going to leave that there. Then it says, and the stars of heaven fell to earth as the fig tree destroyed the upright figs of it by wind great being shaken. So these things happen simultaneously, virtually simultaneously. So that we see right here now, because the wind, all the six trumpets are also four winds, six winds. So we see one of the winds right there. That's the wind, right? And that's an African country that's working with the Shia that false Israel think is working with them. They're going to betray them. See? But at any rate, that's a stone that it says that David took and decapitated Goliath with. Goliath didn't see it coming. Anyway, they're going to war. They defeat Gog, Magog, false Israel, American Britain. They defeat them. Right? And that's why it says, throwing the upright figs. So American Britain represents the figs, false Israel represents the fig tree. Even they understand that. They understand that false Israel represents the fig tree, but American Britain represents the figs. So now you see them figs thrown. See that position here, and that will bring. It says, the stars of heaven fell to earth as. So it happened pretty much the same time. See? So when that happens, right, that's when they're attacking us. So that's why I say the timing is so delicate. It's the time of the essence. The time is so close. Because as soon, see I said it's simultaneously, but as soon as they get in that position, they're attacking us. As soon as they get in that position, right? I put it this way: they're prepared to attack us because it depends on what? It depends on what happened with false Israel. Because now you have Suleiman telling the world this gospel will be preached in all the world, then it will come. He's got to tell all the world because he's got a universal microphone now. the truth about who true Israel is, who false Israel is, what America is, that they Gog and Magog. He's explained all of this. See? And everybody's listening, but they hoping that Jesus, this is the return of Jesus. That's what the Christians are thinking, because when false Israel is surrounded and about to be destroyed, according to their theology, right, that's when Jesus returned. So everybody's on edge. See? So what you see happening right here, there's not really a delay, because as soon as that happens right there, right, false Israel is under siege. So they won't be under siege very long. That's why it says, and the stars of heaven fell on the earth as the fig tree is thrown on the right figs of it by wind, great being shaken. So everything happens so close together, almost simultaneously. So here it is, false Israel is under siege. America and Britain cannot help it. They're cast out. And they're at war now themselves with China and India. With China and Europe. Anyway, I want you to focus on the point here where, right, America and Britain's kicked out. Leave false Israel abandoned. Right? It says, that's the beginning of the abomination of desolation. It hasn't happened, but it's about to happen because they're on siege. And there's two expectations. The primary expectation is that Jesus is going to come and save them because they're on siege. And they're about to be taken out. And they believe that Jesus will come at the last second and save false Israel. The other perception is, right, is that false Israel is false. And they're going down. And that's what Suleiman is telling the world. So you get that brief moment there. See? To make your mind and make a move. See? Because you're being told in advance what to expect. That false Israel is going to be taken down, but it's going to rock this entire world. Because the whole world is based on the idea that false Israel is real, they're true seed Abraham. Now, I'm going to back up. I made an error here. I don't know how that happened. So let me back up, brothers and sisters. Listen, I'm not going to allow this to continue. Hold on for a second here. Okay, I think that's right. Okay, let's go with that. Okay, we back up a little bit here, right? Suleiman's come to the eye. They're the wheat, right? Christian blacks, they're the tares, they're the demons. Okay. Now, false is Gog and Magog is defeated. As the figs, they're defeated. And false Israel is alone, unprotected, and is under siege. Okay? And this is the win here, again, right? That's the African nation that's going to be with the Shia, that's going to take them down. And then, see, we're doing it this way because it's almost simultaneous. Because then, at the point that false Israel is taken, is under siege, and is taken, is knocked out, is destroyed. See? But at that time, because at this point here, back up here, so at this point, right, this is when Suleiman is prophesizing to the four winds. See? Because once, during this period of time, right, while they isolate on the siege, this he prophesies the four winds, tell them what's going to happen here. Because everybody believes that false God, Jesus is going to come back at this point. Because they're on the siege, they're going down for the count. And that's their theology, that at the last minute, last second, Jesus is going to come and say, that's what they're thinking. And Suleiman tell them, no, that's not what's going to happen. They're going to be taken down. So that period of time here, that's when because he's prophesizing to the four winds at this time. The four winds are these stars. They're also the four winds. See? But he's also telling his people what's going on, what to do. It's a brief period of time right here. Once this, it's only a brief period of time. We don't know how much time. I mean, the intro does give you an indication, but I'm not going to say. There's a brief period of time you got right here between time they go into siege until the time Jesus is supposed to come back or they're destroyed. And that's the time he's preaching the four winds. See, he's always telling his people, because they have to know what the desolation of Palm is before they can act. Because they told, once you see it, you have to immediately run. You can't think about it. You can't go back home and get your clothes. They tell you how urgent it is. And you say, well, I got a baby. Well, look, I know you're going to go back and get your baby, but you may get your baby, you might not get back out the front door. That's what I'm trying, how urgent it is, brothers and sisters. See, that's why it's telling you here that you have to recognize it. And by you recognizing it and believing it, you won't be caught in that. Because when it goes down, you're already gone. You have already left. But if you're going to wait to see what happens, those are the ones going to have that problem. Because it said when you see it, flee. Don't wait, flee. But if you wait until you actually see it collapse, right? You flee, but you might not make it. You're going to have a harder time. That's what's going on. So this brief period of time right here, while they're right there, right? That's when he's preaching the four winds and telling his people, right, about the abomination of desolation, measure of the covenant, Abrahamic covenant, because most our people don't know of any of those things. This brief little window right here, after America and Britain is kicked out of the Middle East and leave false Israel to fend for itself. Bam. And then it's taken down. And immediately the four winds blow. See how closely, that's what I'm showing. It's almost instantaneous. Because they listened, they armed themselves, it was ready. See? So those are two winds right there. Because those two winds blow, right? When those two winds blow, you're still here. You're running out the door. Some of you running out the door, some of you left already. But you understand, at that point, they're going to take a second to calculate, oh, you the true seed of Abraham, because they're not. So that means you must be. So then the four winds blow, because they're going to be attacking you. And that's going to give you just enough room for some of you that was still, because I'm not showing that here. Maybe I should have. See, at this point right here, the smart, wise ones, they was already moving out. They was already moving out. Because they believe what Suleiman says the end result is. Those that don't believe that's the end result, that Jesus going to come back, they're still waiting. They're still going to wait there. Then wait till it actually goes down. That's how close the time is going to be. Then, the four winds, they know immediately when false Israel goes down, they hit. I'm not actually showing that here, but at this point, right, blacks are running, escaping. See? And some of them will make it. Because at this point, they're coming to your houses to kill you, wipe you out. Now I say flee. When you see it, flee. That's how merge is going to be. See, this software doesn't really give me to show that point as well as I want to. Because like I said, in the previous one, some are already gone already. But at this point right here, all bets are off. See, because the four winds are blowing. Okay. But at the same time, when these four winds are blowing, you also are moving. So I'm showing you the next slide, but abomination, desolation. See, there you go. Because see, I'm showing like two parts, because all the winds are blowing. So what I'm trying to show here is that while the winds are blowing, you're running, you're fleeing, while the winds are blowing. Because I only showed two, now I'm showing the other two. So while the winds are blowing, you're fleeing. Because it just went down. False Israel just went down. Now the winds are blowing and you're fleeing during that time, and that's the same time they're coming after you. So some of you will make it, some of you won't. See? So let me back up here a little bit. Maybe I hope you understand that. Again, here's the abomination desolation. Just went down. Fig tree. Yeah, hold it. What's going on? Here it is. They're under siege. Bam. Then they go down, and the four winds blow immediately at that time. And see, that's I'm only showing two of them. They call it the stars. They call the winds the stars. But those are also the four winds. They blow immediately. I only show two of them. That means this happened while they're blowing. That's what I'm trying to show here. See, it's abomination, desolation. So I'm trying to show here, see? The other two's blowing. So in other words, they're all blowing, they're all blowing at the four winds blowing at the same time, but during that time, right, that's when the resurrection is taking place. That's what I'm trying to show here. That's why I showed only two, and the other two, and this, between those two that's happening. The people that fled while the winds are blowing. Hope you understand. And at this point, let me see, have I missed anything here? Okay, it's the abomination, desolation. And then heaven separated, and his little book being rolled up. That's where the resurrection, because it says, and every mountain out of the place that were removed. Because the four winds also called mountains. And the demons, right? Those four demons and terrors and we also call islands. So everything's moved out of their place. Everything moved, shifted. That's what we're talking about here. I think that's it, brothers and sisters. Let me double check here. Yeah. So I'm leaving this, especially since apparently still dealing with this cough. And I hope you understand. I'm giving to you an angel point of view. So remember, when you look at this again, because of this particular software, I'm showing that when the four winds blow, This resurrection takes place doing that. That's what I'm showing. The two winds on the first, and then two winds afterwards, and this happened during that time. Because they have to flee immediately. Because they're under attack. And that's the second resurrection. First resurrection, they had no spirit. There's a great army. See? But then the demons had to be separated out. That's the harvest. Because they all come together. See? Then you see Elijah there. That's what it means. See? Because that's what it says in Exodus, right? It says Elijah came, and then he says, or Moses said, those of you with the Lord, and he said those with me, those with the Lord. He's talking about Joshua, because Joshua was one that was with him. Those with him come with me, and those with Aaron go with Aaron. And once they were separated, right, all of the people that was with Moses, they killed all the people that was with Aaron, Farrakhan, they wiped them all out, their families and everything. That's right in Exodus. Because they're all demons. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So I'm not communicating this urgency like I want to here because I'm kind of suppressed because of this cough. Hope you understand, but I'm showing from the angel point of view. Those of you who study the angel. Okay? So the key issue here is the timing. The key issue is the timing. I can't say it enough. I'm trying to convey the point, right? That what you see, first of all, what we should see next, we see turnover in the NOI. That's the very next thing we should see. Ancient of Days sets. We should see that's what happened eternally. He's about to be kicked out. It says thrones were cast down. Then the Ancient of Days set. Then the judgment was set. Then the beast was destroyed. Same story. That's what we should see very next. And same thing in Mark. Same thing in Exodus. Then, right after that, then you see the war start boiling over the Middle East. You had conflict. That's what it says. War broke out in heaven. That's at the point where Michael and his angels go to war with the dragon, and that's what the one that Master Muhammad takes part in. Very next. Right after that. See? And then there's victory. Where Gog and Magog defeated, falls Israel is surrounded under siege. Abomination of desolation is on the horizon, and that Suleiman is in control of NOI. He has a microphone. He's telling warning people in a short period of time, what, a day, week, whatever, not very much. False Israel's going down. Get the hell out of town. Don't wait. Just leave. Telling the Africans, right? Most of them are Christians here. You're going to be attacked too. But see, they have a different attitude. Because at that same time, Africa, which is made up of all these countries, many countries, somebody says 20, 30, 40, 50 countries, I don't know. It says it's going to be united into two countries. Islamic Africa and non-Islamic Africa. So they're going to be buoyed with all of that because now, right, they got half a continent of Africa behind them. They'll be thinking that way too. Okay? And they know America's at war, and they know non-Islamic Africa is going to be against America. So they feel like they're the army forward here, representing non-Islamic Africa, because non-Islamic Africa is going to war against America on China's side. See? They've already helped, right? the Shia take down Gog and Magog. So they're technically already at war with non-Islamic Africa. And they got their troops over here already. So if they're threatening war with non-Islamic Africa because they back the Shia, and that's what they're thinking, because really it's not non-Islamic Africa, it's backing the Shia. It's Islamic, but they, to them, Africans are all the same. Hope you think about that, bouncers, because they have a whole different mindset. Because America's going to be at war with Africa because of being defeated by Gog and Magog. Or it's going to be at war with Russia because they're going to say Russia's the one to help them. Because they don't want to tell people about those planes that they saw, right, that disabled their planes. It's going to be a lot of stuff, bouncers. You'll know, but the American people's not going to know because they confuse everybody. But all that smoke, that fog that they blow in everybody's face, when false Israel goes down, that smog is going to suddenly disappear. It's like, you ever seen that before? You be driving, lots of fog, and suddenly disappears. Like sun comes out, disappears. It's all going to disappear. It's going to be clear. Who the devils are, who the saints are, who God is going to be crystal clear. And the devils who think they're angels right now realize they're devils, and that God is not coming to save them, but to destroy them and put them in the hell that they claim they're going to put everybody else. How do you think they're going to feel about that? Are they devils anyway? How do you think they're going to feel about you? They hate you anyway. So now they got more because now you're the reason why everything, you and the false Jews are the big reason why they got all these problems. Because they the ones set them up that cause all these problems internationally, right? Supporting false Israel all these years. They knew it was supporting a lot to begin with, but they're going to pretend, oh man, if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't be in this war and everything. And then the niggas, if it wasn't for y'all, man, God wouldn't be after us. We have all these problems. We wouldn't have this plague. Because remember, all this is because they're going to realize all this happened because of what Exodus says to force them to release us. Because remember, Pharaoh got mad because all this stuff was happening to him because of the children of Israel. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So I'm going to leave it there because I got a brief call for respite here, so I'm going to leave, like I said, leave well enough alone, right? Hope you understand. But I'm trying to convey the timing element here. And nothing conveys it more than like the book about Abraham when he plunged the knife into his son's heart to kill him. And Master Muhammad grabs his hand just before he kills him, before it pierces his heart. And then he saw the ram caught his horn in the bushes, that's American, and fought American Britain, and he sacrificed them instead. That's the same story about the Ancient of Days. It says he set, and then the beast was destroyed, right? Which is the ram. The ram gets attacked by the goat. Same ram. This ram got a lot of trouble ahead of it. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I think I'm going to leave it there. So I promise a follow-up. Here it is. Hopefully, I wasn't anticipating this cough. I thought it was going to be gone by now. I think I aggravated because I went to the gym, did 5 miles treadmill, and I boosted up my speed by 10 points. And that didn't help the situation. But I feel good. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters.